don't know what they're talking about. In time, I'm sure it'll all come back. Doctor, my memory is fine. It's my sanity I'm beginning to worry about.
Yeah, dude, it's pouring. I can hear it.
I'm sure it'll come my way.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you'll lose power tonight for sure.
Well, hey, at least it's setting the mood for you.
Yeah,
which is
true.
always a good thing.
Spooky weather.
Ooh, a spooky Christmas.
Okay, I had a. Can we just have like a little parent corner? I have. Just an idea. Okay, this might be not good parenting. It might be kind of brilliant. I don't know. I want to know your ideas. Okay, so
I'm gonna find out.
Santa's coming to town soon, and I just want to know, like I don't want to be. Do you think if you like Harrison, we're like arguing and hitting and fighting and all the time, and then Christmas comes around, and let's say you did get a piece of coal. Don't you think like you'd be like reflective on it and be like, you know what? I kind of deserve this. And next year, I'm not going to get coal because I'm going to do better. Or do you think it would like backfire? I got coal for Christmas. I'm the worst person on earth. Because I'm kind of curious where the psychology would go.
It really depends on the kind of person you are. Me personally, I probably would be the more like, wow, I guess I am a piece of shit. I think that's where I would go. I think the more effective or the more traumatizing approach is what you do is you put all your presents underneath the Christmas tree. You put a couple empty boxes there. And whenever the kids are really messing with you, you pick one up and just chuck it in the fireplace. Just be like, there.
It's awesome.
There. Guess what? Now you don't get that present.
You know, Grimm's fairy tales are pretty dark, right? Mm-hmm. And they're all basically just like warnings. Don't go in the woods. You know, don't talk to the wolves. Stuff like that. And they're like, they're brutal. So I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe this might be one of those we're a little soft in the West type things. I don't know. You do it to your kids and I'll see what happens.
How about that?
Okay. Fair enough. I just like, if I'm just like, guys, like Santa's like gonna give you guys coal if you guys don't like pull it together. And then like it goes on for another 2 months and then they actually get coal. I just feel like it would be like a should have listened. Instead of
you know, and there's also probably 2 layers there if we're getting like actually looking into this. There's the what do your kids express and what do they feel inside, right? They might actually feel inside, oh hey, maybe Santa's not messing around and next year I might actually get a present if I'm not a total douchebag.
Yeah.
But on the outside, you're not going to see that. You'll never know. Like you never showed your dad what you were actually thinking on the inside. You just, fought him. So, maybe if you're willing to deal with it for a year and hold that over their heads next year again, like that seems like it might work.
I mean, the whole concept like is weird to begin with. Like he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. You're like looking over your shoulder. And then this year it was really funny. Like, so Cash has a really awesome gift, and then a bunch that are kind of like whatever. And I was like, okay, for the awesome gift, is that from us or Santa? And she's like, oh, that's from us. Like Santa's getting him like this little other thing. And I was like, I like that because I feel like when we were kids, Santa like had the best gift, and then we didn't really appreciate our parents for it.
Yeah, that's my philosophy. I'm like, no, the good gifts are from us. Santa brings the socks. He brings the little Lego set instead of the giant Lego set. Like, come on, like, fourth work.
I understand that logic. I'm gonna push back as a kid a little bit here.
I get it.
So my parents were really poor growing up, and like they definitely. I knew that they didn't have any money. We drank like freaking powdered milk. We were like food stamps poor, right? Then there was one year where we were poor, but then I got like Pokemon Red for Christmas. And that was freaking magical. I was like, Santa is real. Because there's no way my parents would have A, known I wanted this because my parents didn't pay attention like that. And B, they didn't have the money. We also got like a trampoline and a basketball hoop. And I was like, where did these come from? It was freaking Santa. So maybe if you're poor, you can do the Santa brings good gifts thing and it makes Christmas better. That's what the moral of the story. If you're poor.
I will say this, kind of going back to the coal thing. I love you, Dad. Just going to put it out there. But I remember one year he gave me a battery checker for Christmas, and
Underrated.
underrated gift. I just remember getting that battery checker, and I just like, thanks, Dad. But I still remember it. It makes me laugh every time I think about it. So really, it was a gift. The memory is the true gift.
I feel like I have to clarify for the listeners. You're listening to this in like mid-January or something.
I was hesitant to bring it up because of that, but
I just realized, yeah, we're pretty bad at that, aren't we?
We're recording this like 3 days before Christmas.
Yeah. It's so good.
They'll put it together.
I have a couple movies that I watched.
Same. What'd you watch?
So we watched, oh my gosh, I don't even know why Nicole put it on, but I was so happy she did. We watched Tomb Raider, the one with Angelina Jolie, and that movie is so awesome. Like, it is so good. I mean, I was just watching it, and there was so many. It's really funny when it comes to like dumb action movies. Nicole's just sitting there like, this is so ridiculous. This is so unrealistic. Like, what? There's no way that would work. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't give a crap. They know exactly what kind of movie they are, and I'm having a blast. Like,
I never saw that. Or if I did, I don't remember it.
Oh,
Is it okay? So like, I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's exciting, but like, is it like really good? Like,
oh, okay. You know, have you ever played a Tomb Raider game?
Not
Like
since her chest was pointy, but yes.
It's very video game. Like, okay, I'll say this. Okay, it's kind of like those movies where you look at the rating and you're like, what, a 5.5? And then you watch the movie and you're like, it's a 5.5, but I love it. I love every scene. Like, that's what kind of movie it is. I don't know. I think you'd have fun watching it. I mean, I had a big grow up moment when I saw Angelina Jolie's side boob in that movie. So that was a pretty big moment for me. But no, it's a total blast. It's like Armageddon dumb, but just, I don't know. I don't know. I have a special place in my heart for that movie personally.
So we're starting to build like a shorthand for describing films. Like, oh, it's Armageddon dumb. It's like Prometheus dumb. It's, you know, like, it's good. We're starting to really build a nice lexicon that we can shorthand into complex topics. This is great.
No, yeah. Love that movie. The next one I watched it last night. We watched Anastasia, which is a Don Bluth film. And I've decided while Anastasia is Don Bluth's best film, Secrets of Nim is like just pure Don Bluth. And it was just really cool watching it. I mean, no, Anastasia is just such a good film and it looks incredible. Like that first like chunk of the movie, I was just like mesmerized with every scene and how it looked. The music is really good. The characters are so fun. And also they do that thing at the end of the movie where it's like a ballad, or you know, it's like, you know, a power like couples singing a song. They sang a song called At the Beginning. I listened to that like 25 times today while I was at work. It was so good, and I cried a couple times, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my Somewhere Out There. It was so good. Yeah, that movie's like a solid 4.5. There's a really noticeable lull in that film at the very end, but everything before that is just perfection to me.
Somewhere Out There has grown on me since we watched American Tail. Like, I really was like, whatever, this song is so dumb, and I hated like the end credits version. I was like, this is so bad, but it's kind of grown on me. I like find myself singing it. But I agree with you, Harrison. I think that Anastasia is hands down and like his best high qualityest film, and Secrets of Nim is so purely Don Bluth, and I like them both now. Like Secrets of Nim and Anastasia, like two pillars right there.
Oh, yeah, Secrets of Nim has like Don Bluth's blood like pumping through each frame. You can just
through
tell.
every electrical flex.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Every short-circuited, what's it called? Generator.
Yeah, every
Yes.
short-circuited generator.
No, it was, Anastasia still had the big mouth. It still had glitter. It still had all the great things of Don Bluth. I almost, honestly, like, I don't know what the situation was. I didn't look any of this up, but off the top of my head, I kind of feel like Anastasia was like, okay, fine. We'll make a Disney-like movie so we can get a crap ton of money, and then I can make the movies I actually want to make. I mean, I still feel like they put a lot of love and a lot of attention in Anastasia, but it definitely felt very like, okay, just since we've watched so many Don Bluth films, and it feels very different than all the other ones. I almost feel like he was like, all right, let's make something really popular, make a ton of money, and then I can put out whatever I want after that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, all of this is correct, except I'm shaky on what company bought Don Bluth Studios. I think it might have been 20th Century or Universal, one of those.
I feel like that happened like 4 different times. So yeah.
Well, it did happen multiple times, but this was the first. There was Anastasia and Titan AE were both made by the same company, published by the same company. So it was basically they acquired Don Bluth Studios. Everybody moved to Arizona from Ireland, and they pumped out Anastasia, but it was like he finally had all of the resources he needed and no time crunch. It was like everything that Don Bluth could have done, he was finally able to do with Anastasia. It's kind of why I think of it's the pillar. Ironically, it's the one movie we didn't watch.
I have a weird story, a strange occurrence that happened I want to share with you guys. But so it was 2 days ago, and just kind of like in the middle of the day, someone said something, and it made me think of the movie Gremlins. I think someone said the name Billy. And at the very end of the movie, he like says goodbye to the Mogwai, and he pokes his head out and he goes, "Bye, Billy." And we always say it like as a joke. We just laugh about it. And I said it. And then like later in the day, Knox was like, "Today, my friend at school asked me if I've ever seen Gremlins, and we were talking about it." I was like, "Nice." Later in the day, we're looking for a movie. Gremlins is like right there. I'm like, "Dude, put it on." We had to do it. So we turn it on and we start watching it. And I was like, that's really weird that we're watching this, because like I quoted it earlier today. Your friend was talking about it at school with you, and here we are watching it. And I was like, I wonder if we watched this like a year ago. Next day, I'm in the morning comes up, and I'm thinking about that. I open up my letterbox. I go to my history. To the day, December 19th, we watched Gremlins.
That's bonkers, man.
It's really weird. I was like, dude, what? Like, that's so bizarre.
That's trippy. I love it. And a tradition was born.
Have you ever watched the movie They Live?
I only think about it about twice a day.
I mean, take it for what it's worth, but like it's kind of this like deep conspiracy movie where there's like programming where they try to control you.
So I sent you guys a little quiz earlier this week where basically I'm trying to have you guys compare films and seeing just which ones you like more than the other one. And I just kind of want to run through a couple of them with you guys real quick. That way I can kind of set up a little bit of a ranking of just the movies you like and see where they kind of land. And then we can rank movies we watch in the future to that list. I think it'll be interesting to see the differences between what we value in terms of films and what we kind of recommend as a podcast overall. I think it could be fun. So
okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you 2 movies that we've discussed on this show, and you just simply tell me which one you think is better. There's no specific guideline that you have to follow to do this. You guys just, whatever you think, whichever movie you think is better, just let me know. Okay. Untouchables or M?
Hold on. So I have a question. Is this like On a Desert Island? Is this like the last movie you watch before you die? Or is it just which one's better?
Really, the guideline is which one do you think is better? What you value in a movie is different from what I value in a movie. And same with Scott.
Gotcha. This is really tough, but I would say Untouchables.
Okay.
I would say M.
I think I'm going to go with M as well. Okay. Let's see. Next one would be Armageddon or Northman.
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 Yeah, I'm gonna go with Northman as well. Okay, let's do Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or Clue.
Oh, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for sure.
Oh man,
come on!
I'll probably go Clue.
Yeah, That one is really tough. I won't lie, but I think I am going to go with Clue as well. They're right next to each other. I really think it is. I think it might just depend on the day that I think about it, but that one for sure.
It depends on who I'm going to watch it with. If I watch it with like my kids, it's going to be Power Rangers all the way. But if I'm watching it with Paige, it's going to be Clue.
Yeah, there's so many questions I have, but I know it's just either or. So yeah,
it's just either or.
I'm sticking with my answer.
Let's go 1917 or Jungle Book.
1917.
Yeah, 1917 is a better movie. I mean, whew.
Yeah, like I like Jungle Book, but 1917 to me is just a better movie in terms of what I kind of gauge as a good movie.
No one on planet Earth has ever compared those two movies before. I love that.
So hot take, you heard it here first. Let's go Titan AE or Detroit Rock City.
Detroit Rock City.
Titan AE.
I think I'm gonna go Detroit Rock City. Actually, like I thought I was gonna say Titan AE, but the more I think about it, I'm like, no, I actually think Detroit Rock City is just slightly better.
Now that I'm thinking about the episode again, damn
it. I will say this. I'm going to say this, Scott. I feel like you kind of wrote off Detroit Rock City when we first watched it, but I feel like you bring it up like every other episode. I think it's just so awesome.
It's such a dumb movie that's so well made.
Okay, next one. Let's do All Dogs Go to Heaven or RoboCop.
RoboCop.
RoboCop for me.
I'm gonna go All Dogs Go to Heaven. I was shocked. Like RoboCop, just I don't know. It didn't really hit me as hard as you guys. I still it's a fine movie, but yeah. I think I just have more fun watching All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Harrison, I also think you've matured since then. Maybe you should rewatch RoboCop.
You know what? I will take you up on that. I'll take you up on that for sure. Okay, next one. Let's do They Live and The Secrets of NIMH.
Oh, don't do this to me.
Yeah, this is hard actually.
Here, I'm gonna give my answer first. I'm gonna go Secrets of NIMH.
What's a better movie?
I think They Live is a very important film, and I think it is a great movie. But I feel like, to me, from terms of what I value in terms of movies, Secrets of NIMH just feels like a better movie to me.
My final answer is They Live because it's just on brand for myself, and it impacted me more. But I totally understand what you're saying.
I mean, I think I'll probably go for Secrets of NIMH, but this is like a difference between like 0.01 difference between the two. Like
this could change every other day. Yeah,
it could. Okay, let's do Prometheus or Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Prometheus.
Such a lie.
Interesting. Well, okay, wait. You're sarcastic. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Batman Returns, easy. That's an easy one for me. Okay, let's do Europa Report and Return to Oz.
Europa Report.
Europa Report.
Yeah, Europa Report. Okay, let's do Alien and The Fox and the Hound.
Alien.
Yep, easy. The Fifth Element and The Ring. I'm gonna go Fifth Element.
Oh,
I think The Ring.
I'm also gonna go Fifth Element.
I think it's decently close. I don't know. The thing is, like, I value a movie that I would watch more often. And The Ring is one of those movies, like, I'll watch it once. I'll probably watch it again because it was good at some point in my life. But The Fifth Element is a movie that I continuously come back to and really enjoy.
I don't think I could. Yeah, I'm going to go The Ring.
That's good. No, I like that. I like that call.
You know, like, I think I value movies that I think about more often, that were more impactful in my life in some way. And both of them I think about a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
And Fifth Element, for more fun reasons, I quote it all the time. And the visuals are incredible. Man, I really, really like The Fifth Element. I think that also I think about The Ring a lot, but it's like the weird art house movie, creepy VHS, and some of the shots and some of the way that they were able to keep it like spunky without being too gritty, stuff like that. Like there's a lot of mastery in making a teenager focused horror film that had never been done before. I think both are genuinely important and impactful. Like, it's funny talking about these high average quality films and like genuinely meaning what I mean about them. Like, they are both truly impactful and on cinema, but in different ways than your Star Wars or your, something like that.
I guess for me, if I'm not in the right mood, Chris Tucker's character just might really annoy me. So yeah, I'll go with The Ring.
All right, just got a couple more here. This one's gonna be really difficult for you, Scott. Okay, we have Devil All the Time or Quantum Cowboys.
You go first. You go first.
I'm going Devil All the Time, hands down.
I don't think I've ever heard of Quantum Cowboys, so probably go with Devil All the Time.
Yeah, Devil All the Time.
This is another tough one, guys. Okay, Tremors or Safety Not Guaranteed?
Tremors.
Wait, what's the... Yeah, I can't reuse the same joke over and over.
I know, right? Okay, so Tremors all around, easy there. Okay, this one might get a little heated here. We're gonna go Frequency or Paris, Texas.
Paris, Texas.
Frequency for me.
I don't know why it's so funny. The one I like more,
which is just a better movie too.
Which one's a better movie?
This, I re-listened to our episode on Frequency.
Yeah.
Just the other day, and Paris, Texas.
There you go. That's perfectly fine.
Those are both good movies, though, man. Those are both really good.
Review. Yeah. Okay. Okay. The last one, probably the toughest of all. Bubba Hotep or About Time.
Well, I think I would have to say that Bubba Hotep is a better rom-com. But as far as impacting my life, it's definitely About Time. So I think I'm going to go with About Time.
Yeah, About Time.
I'm going to go with About Time as well. All right. That's my little segment. We might bring it back at some point, but I'm just collecting all this data here. I might send you out another quiz at some point.
I love that.
It'll be fun.
Hey, I want to read this to you. So my boys are downstairs arguing, and they have the iPads so they can text me. This is from Cash. Hey, this is Cash. Is FU the same as the F word? He's trying to get his brother in trouble.
I distinctly remember sitting out at the cul-de-sac at the Chris Courthouse, and me and my friend Jordan Johnson, which is Marcus's younger brother. We were buds.
Dude, yeah.
And I distinctly remember him being like, hey, do you want to say the F word? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he goes, okay, I'm going to say the F part and you say the part. Okay. And I was like, okay.
That's cheating.
We sat there and said it like 10 times. And we thought we were just the funniest people on the planet and so clever.
You didn't grow up to be a lawyer. That's weird.
That's strange.
It's too late. I just wanted to talk about Train Dreams for a second. You guys have to watch Train Dreams. Scott, I know you'll love it. Harrison, I think you'll love it. But like, it's like the biggest tragedy about the film is that so many people are watching it on Netflix instead of in a movie theater.
Oh, I like that.
It's so beautiful. Loss, grief, just like family stuff. It is beautiful. It kind of shows the life of like a railroad worker doing logging and this whole other world that like I've never seen another movie about. Like most of the time it's about like mountain men like trying to survive. This is kind of like that, but like working in the logging industry in the late or early 1900s. I can't recommend it enough. It's a great film. I just wanted to throw that out there. All right, guys, let's transition. This is episode 34. And today we're going to talk about the John Landis film released in 1981, An American Werewolf in London.
This is the story of two young American students traveling through England on a night of the full moon.
Did you hear that? I heard that. What was it?
Fate let one live.
That lunatic must have been a very fierce fellow.
Wasn't a lunatic.
And now everything is changing. John Landis, the brilliant young director of Animal House and the Blues Brothers, has turned a classic tale of terror into something new. Something different.
I'm a werewolf.
An American Werewolf in London. Something different.
I wrote down American Werewolf in Paris, which is funny.
That is funny.
That's the sequel.
Because that was the original title, wasn't it?
No, it's the sequel.
It's a sequel. That's what it is. Yeah, apparently it's pretty terrible.
It's
Okay,
pretty lame.
because we're doing Cinema Slime Revisit. That's the thing we're doing. These are movies that have been on lists, but we haven't watched them yet. So our pool of movies were kind of shrunk down, but it kind of helped us pick the ones that we really, really wanted to watch. And I think this originally was a film you picked, Scott.
Yeah, this is from my VHS bin list originally, like our
Ooh.
first list, maybe our second, but I think the first.
Choice.
Yeah, what's your experience with the film?
This goes into my category of films I watched pre 7 years old that I shouldn't have seen. And
Awesome.
also want to throw out there just the small caveat that I've actually not watched this since I was a little kid, and it's equally as good as I remember. Like, it's genuinely just fun, like a fun, scary movie. Also, this is one of the ones that my dad edited, and I did not know that there were so many boobies in this movie. This is like half a porno.
Dude, there was some man.
There was some serious boob action in this movie.
Oh, there was. No, and it was kind of interesting watching it because I feel like we haven't watched a movie with this much, I don't know, lewdness, I guess is the word you would say. So I'm watching the film and I was like, oh, okay, all right, this is happening. And then even when Jack gets torn up in that first opening scene, there's blood all over him. I was like, whoa, I am not used to seeing that much blood and that much very bright red blood as well. Like, I'm used to it being darker. I'm used to more like quote unquote realistic blood and not like slasher horror, like bright red blood. It was kind of shock to me.
Yeah, right after he gets like torn up, it shows a quick shot of him just laying there, and you can see the blood like still like flowing out. It's like wet and like reflective in the moonlight. It's like really violent. it's pretty amazing.
So I picked this movie. This is one of the slimiest films I've ever seen. And I wanted you guys to see this. And Ren, I want to know if you've actually seen this movie before. Is this the first time?
No. I watched this in high school. So
Okay.
I wasn't, that wasn't new to me, but I loved revisiting this.
The opening scene when they're walking through just the countryside,
The moors.
and it's just like quiet and stuff, but they're like so spunky, right? These two guys, it's like they're like early 20s to mid 20s or something like that, just backpacking through Europe from America. And their conversations are just hilarious and like real, you know?
Oh yeah. Just two dudes talking like, oh man, like, do you think her body's worth it? Of course it's worth it. Have you seen it? Like, they're just, it's so crazy.
It's so like normal dudes just backpacking, bored, talking to each other. Like, I've had those kinds of conversations with people, right?
I wrote it down. That's like my favorite part about this movie is their chemistry, just their BSing. I interrupted you, but like it felt like it's obviously scripted, but like I just love how disarming they are because they're bros. I loved it.
Yeah, and they're like genuinely funny.
Like even the dumb like knock joke conversation they were having, he's trying to get him to say the right thing, and it's not working out. I was like, I've had this conversation a million times with my buddies when I was out in scout camp. Like, this is just so real.
David. But how hard of a shift it goes from spunkiness. They step into the slaughtered lamb, and it's like so dark and creepy, and they're so unnatural. There's like the "you made me miss" like dark guy who I think he's the only other person I recognize from anything else. He was in Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's just so like aggressively passive aggressive. Like, it's super intense. And then they leave, and there's the whole scene of them just like being stalked by the werewolf and then getting killed, Jack being ripped up by the werewolf. Like, that hands down, that whole sequence, like the first 10 minutes of the movie or whatever, is just incredible. I love it. And then the second scene is the werewolf transformation scene. Like, that's why I picked this movie. I wanted to talk about those two scenes. and everything else is just cream.
Yeah, that first section of the film, when they leave the slaughtered lamb and they're just walking and all of a sudden they end up off of the road and you almost don't even notice that they left the road. And just how wide the camera is and shows you, it's like these guys are in the middle of nowhere. It almost gave me a feeling of, what was it, back in our Northman episode, we were talking about how there's a scene where they're all jumping around this fire. And it's really focused, like the fire is the only source of light and there's all this darkness surrounding them. And I feel like this section of the movie, like it's definitely lit up so you can see them. But once you look past them, it's like, wow, they're in total darkness. They have no idea where they are. And they're just so disoriented, especially when they realize like, oh, we're not on the road. And they're trying to keep this like joking, like positive vibe as much as they possibly can, but while they're panicking about the situation, like the feelings that it made me feel while watching it, it really pulled me into the movie. And I was like, yeah, I'm freaking out just as much as you guys are freaking out. That really unnatural sound of when the werewolf like yells out. Oh man, that really sent a shiver down my spine. Like I was very impressed.
It's such a good werewolf sound.
Hey, you guys brought it up. I just have to share something that I've sort of fallen upon. I don't know if this is legit or if this is cited. It sounds really familiar, and I was like, "What? Like, is this just like a Wilhelm scream? Just like something you hear in like every other movie or something?" And it finally dawned on me. And let me see if I can. You tell me what's this from? Okay. Wait. Okay. Here. Let me ask you something. If I play something through here, can you guys hear it? Okay. Here we go.
No.
No, I
Didn't hear
couldn't hear
anything.
Okay, well, next time you guys play Altered Beast, whenever you morph, it is the same sound. I'm telling you, it's like exactly the same.
Which came out first?
Probably this movie, 81. Sega Genesis didn't come out till 80,
The 90s?
89 or something. Yeah, I'll follow up on that in the future, but it's like exactly the same.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Watching this again, I'm really fascinated with how you can mix horror and comedy and how they can just jump back and forth so much and you can still be terrified and then the next second you're like laughing. The way that this movie navigates those two things is like incredibly awesome. Like it's just a fun watch. I had such a good time. Just the atmosphere, just everything about it, just how violent it is. I totally forgot about all those dream sequences. And then it seems like out of nowhere, but actually kind of foreshadows for later on in the movie, but where it shows his whole family just get mowed down by like those half undead Nazi soldiers in his house.
Yeah.
I did not remember that at all. And it's extremely violent. It's caught me off guard. It's cool.
And it just keeps going.
Yeah, right. It does just keep going, and you're just like, what's happening here?
But it was so essential because later on, basically, he's losing his mind, and he's in that telephone booth, and he's like calling home, and he's talking to his brother, and he's talking to his mom. And because of what we saw earlier in the film, you're just like, oh yeah, those are his family. I thought that was really cool. A little clever way to kind of foreshadow all them.
So talking about kind of the blend of like horror and comedy. So I'm not a horror expert. I don't watch a lot of scary movies like this one. This was kind of a unique experience to watch it because I've never seen this one before. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like, so you have the scary part of this film, then you have the comedy part of this film, which by the way, I felt like the comedy was super uncomfortable. Like the more the movie went on, the more awkward the comedy got. Like just think about like the blundering police officer. He's like talking over his superior and then he like, knocks over all the bowls or whatever in the doctor's office. And he's trying to like clang them all back together and is being super loud. It just felt so like uncomfortable.
Straight up. I mean, that's the most British, like Monty Python kind of comedy ever.
Yes.
British. Yeah.
Pretty much. Then you have all this sex and like, boobs just all over this film. And I feel like this movie, and maybe this is a horror thing, but I feel like it's trying to pull all these big emotions out of you all at the same time. It's trying to make you feel confused because your feelings are just going so many different directions in this film. And I feel like that just added to the effect that this film had on me while I was watching it. It was just like, I don't 100% know how to feel because it's telling me so many different things. And it did it in a very well balanced way that it didn't leave me confused. It kept me on edge throughout the whole film.
I think a huge part of that is the soundtrack. Like every song in this movie is awesome. Like I love every song, and they're like kind of pretty and like calming and beautiful. And then it juxtapositions it with just like the most violent image of someone getting their neck ripped off or being beheaded by a werewolf. It's just, yeah, this is a roller coaster of a film.
I'm guilty of this too. Everyone pairs Creedence Clearwater Revival with the werewolf transformation scene, but they're not.
I know. I was surprised by that.
It's just before it, in the scene just before it, and then it plays Blue Moon while he's transforming. And one of the like 6 versions of Blue Moon that's in this movie.
Yeah.
The whole time you're like, this is super gnarly. Like he's just like screaming as his hands are like stretching out and his legs bent backwards and grows hair and stuff like that. It's gnarly practical effects, but then it makes it even more uncomfortable because the music just doesn't quite fit what we're used to.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think that kind of feeds into what I was talking about before, just being pulled in so many different directions. Like putting positive music in scenes like that, you're just like, I feel so much more uncomfortable because sometimes you're like, this doesn't fit. But I don't know. It was really cool. I really enjoyed watching this movie.
My hands down favorite music transition in this movie was actually from the movie to the end credits, because it was like, out of all of the Blue Moon covers that they put in this, it's the spunkiest. But it was like right after this super emotional, dramatic scene where the werewolf David gets shot to pieces right as his girlfriend, the nurse, is like trying to get him to calm down and like pull a Hulk on him and get him to calm down and transform back into David or something. And then he like lunges at her. They shoot him to death. She cries and she's like, I loved you, David. And then they don't even give you enough time to like, for that to sink in. And then it goes, boom, Blue Moon. And you're like, whoa. And it's like this spunky, fun, like upbeat version of the song. And you're like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
You know what? I saw a review for this film and they said something, they were talking about, they're like, yeah, I just watched this with my brother and he was thoroughly convinced that David wasn't actually transforming into a werewolf. It was going to be kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, it was just him the whole time. You know, it was him killing people. It was just him being psychotic and everything. But he felt like at the end, it was like, no, you actually see them like kill the werewolf and, you know, turn back into a human. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of a weird thought that it could have gone that way, or they could have changed the ending in that way. But it was just kind of a little mind trip for me.
I was really impressed with, like, there's the section of the film where, what you're talking about, where he does turn into a werewolf when he's in London. He doesn't remember it. These, like, totally innocent people, you know, they're, like, on a double date, and they're just right away, I was like, they're dead. Like, this cute girl on a date with her husband, the guy, he's trying to be, like, not afraid, and he goes out into the backyard or wherever, and he just gets slaughtered. And then there's the homeless people kind of under the bridge. They, like, have the fire burning. They all culminate in the end in that like orgy movie theater viewing, and they're all having that conversation with him, and then he just kind of realizes that he killed them all.
Dude, okay, just a quick little note about that orgy scene at the end. I'm watching the movie. There's that scene where that guy is down in the subway, and
I love that part.
And it's that's probably the most terrifying scene in the film for me. It's just him being stalked by him. There's a moment where he runs into this hallway and then he stops to look back for the werewolf. And I noticed on the wall, there's a poster for that smut film. It's just right there. It's like, we'll see you next Wednesday for the orgy scene. And I remember I noted that poster. I was like, wow, that seemed really out of place. And then when he actually went there, I was like, oh my gosh, what? That actually meant something? Like, that was like a foreshadow to where he's going to end up in the film. Like,
so you set it up for me, so I'll go over this. So the See You Next Wednesday is a reoccurring gag that John Landis puts in most of his films. So that's also in The Blues Brothers. It's in Coming to America. And it all comes from a line that's in 2001, A Space Odyssey. It's the scene where he's on the video message system. And one of the last things he says is, I'll see you next Wednesday. Or no, I think his daughter says, see you next Wednesday to him. And for whatever reason, John Landis just loves that line. So he puts it in all of his films. But yeah, I don't know why I don't really get the significance of that, but except that he loves that movie. So back to the nudity. I just want to share my thoughts.
Where does this go on your unnecessary nudity scale? Like, do you think you need to scale it back? Did it actually affect work in the film? What do you think?
So all the female nudity is unnecessary.
my gosh.
I think I agree with where you're going with this. I think I agree with this.
It's a conflicting feeling, but I'm right. So every scene with David Naughton, after he comes out of his transformation from the werewolf to human, he's just butt naked. He's sitting there like in the zoo with those two like grown ass wolves, and one of them comes up and like starts sniffing his crotch. That must have been terrifying to film. But yeah, he's just butt naked. That makes the most sense. And then the shower scene with the nurse was like the most uncomfortable I felt throughout the whole movie for some reason.
Oh man.
Again, just a little unnecessary. We were watching with the boys, and when that scene started, I'm like pressing fast forward. And I had to press fast forward like 10 times. I was like, this is real long. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
They're like, ew, gross.
Real quick before we move on from that scene. Okay. So I'm watching the movie and Nurse Price, I believe is her name.
Yep.
She comes on the screen and I'm just like, I know her.
Yeah.
She's in something. And I'm scratching my chin. I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'm just going to look it up. So I look it up. Have you guys ever watched Call the Midwife?
Mm-mm.
I've watched some of Paige has watched all of it.
It's a beautiful TV show. It's one of those, it's a TV show you put on if you want to feel good. Like you just want to feel happy and full of joy. She plays one of the nuns in that film, Sister Julienne. And she's been on the show ever since the beginning. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's Sister Julienne. Oh my gosh, she's so young in this. And I realized that literally 5 seconds before the shower scene happened. And so that happens and I'm like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden you see her boob when they're in bed. And I was like, I just saw Sister Julienne's boob. I just saw a nun boob. It's just like,
Nice.
It was so funny. I was like more embarrassed than normal because I was like, oh, whoa, that's a nun boob.
It's like seeing your aunt's boob.
Hey, Harrison.
Yeah.
Have you ever had feelings for a nun?
It was an experience. It was pretty funny though.
So check this out. So David Naughton, I guess he got this role mostly because of some work he did in some commercials, a Dr. Pepper commercial. And apparently after he was in this movie, they dropped him because they didn't like how he showed his butt in a film. So he lost a job because he took this role. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
Jokes on Dr. Pepper because this movie's cooler than Dr. Pepper.
No
Hey,
kidding.
Dr. Pepper.
By the way, I think we've gone too far without mentioning Rick Baker. He's the special effects guy.
Yeah, say his name.
Why are you bringing him up? Why does it matter in this movie?
Oh, why does it matter in this movie? Because he's the special effects artist. By the way, looking at his repertoire, I'm in the mood to be like, yeah, Rick Baker, we're doing a deep dive on you at some point.
Okay.
Fun fact, he also did the special effects for Videodrome. I thought I'd throw that out for you, Ren.
Yes, that makes total sense.
Dude, it's so he did an incredible job. I actually watched an interview that he gave, and there's some really cool little nuggets in there. He's just one of those guys. It's like he's been around forever. He's done so many films, and he has such a great craft in terms of doing these practical effects. It's really mind blowing. And one of the big things, and he ended up actually leaving the industry at one point. He was just like, you have no idea how frustrating it is to put forth all this love and all this passion and excitement I have for a film, and to have some production asshole just pop in and be like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like you could do better or maybe tone it down a bit. He just got so tired of it. But one of my favorite things that I learned while listening to this interview, the actor who plays Jack, one of my favorite scenes is when he first shows up and is talking to David, and the way his neck is just fully torn and his face is all, big scratch down the side of his face. He was talking about how when he was applying that makeup to that actor, and the actor's sitting there watching himself in the mirror, and he had like this small mental breakdown in that moment. And he was like, what is happening to me? He was like, hold on, this is supposed to be like, I'm one of the main characters in this film, and this is how everyone's going to see me. He was really spiraling and kind of wigging out. And Baker, he basically was like, I get it. It's really, really uncomfortable and very strange to see yourself in that half decapitated state, or that rotting state that he ends up in on the second visit. I just thought that was a really cool thing to like. It's like, wow, these actors are actually psychologically being affected by that. It's so cool.
Yeah, Griffin Dunn.
Thank you.
Does he look familiar to you, Harrison?
He did not look familiar to me, but I'd love to know where he's from.
Okay, I was on Reddit the other day, and someone posted, and it was a movie trailer that played on the VHS copy of the Ninja Turtle movie from '88. and it's this movie called Step Kids. Do you have any recollection of what I'm talking about?
Man, that sounds. Yeah, there's something in the back of my head, but I can't fully form it.
Okay, that's what I always like think of him initially of, just from this trailer. It's right before the Suburban Commando trailer, before the movie starts on VHS.
That's so good.
But I recently watched After Hours, a Scorsese film, and Griffin Dunn is the main character in that movie, and that movie is a fever dream nightmare.
Oh,
he's great in that. But yeah, to see him in this, like, he's one of my favorite parts of this movie. He's hilarious. He's really good in it. And we already talked about kind of the banter in the beginning of the movie. But yeah, that's really interesting. I think another little tidbit, one of the main reasons that he felt depressed, this is kind of like what I will actually potentially look like after a couple of months or a year, like in a coffin. He's just like, I'm seeing my own dead self. And I think psychologically, like you said, I feel like that would mess you up a little bit. It would just kind of enter your brain more than it should.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like in terms of his transition, like the first visit, I think is still just mind blowing to me, especially just how wet his neck was with blood. That freaked me out. I was like, how do you do that? How do you make it last? The second visit, I almost wish there was a little more lighting because I really wanted to see it more, but just that like green skin, like it almost looked fuzzy. It felt so gross and disgusting. Him sitting there, him waving the Mickey hand, be like, "Hi, David," like just really like, yeah, that one really creeped me out. And then of course you get to the end where it's just his skull with an eye like almost like half falling out, like
Two-Face,
so good. And then what was the other thing I learned from it was he was working on the actual werewolf, and they were trying to figure out the best way to have it be on screen, have it be terrifying, how to make it move and things like that. Basically, the werewolf's back legs are in a wheelbarrow. And I just think that's just things like that is so cool to learn about movies, where it's just like, we need to figure out how to do these things practically, how to make it look good, how to operate it correctly. And sometimes you end up with these wacky things that it's like, it sounds strange, but it worked, you know?
So, you know, how with like a video game series, long running video game series, you know, your Final Fantasies or something like that, Zelda or whatever, people really, really love the one that they played and connected with the first, right? You know, it's like, I'm a Final Fantasy VII guy. I'm an Ocarina of Time guy. I like the other games in the series more or less degrees or whatever, but those two are like pinnacles to me. But my older brother, he's a Link to the Past guy. I have never, ever liked a werewolf in any other movie because I saw this first. This, I think, is the best depiction of a werewolf face and transition that I've ever seen. You've got Harry Potter, you've got, you know, American Werewolf in Paris, all these different kind of werewolves, or, I mean, even some pretty solid ones in like Van Helsing or something like that. You know, like there's not terrible werewolf representations in other movies, but I just don't like them. I just don't like them because this one is so good and it's so practical that it feels more real than, I don't know, other future depictions. I don't know. Am I weird here?
This is a very thin, like, there's not a lot of werewolf movies that are like great to choose from. I think this is like definitively the best werewolf movie that there is, because I was looking at some of the other ones. Actually, I'm trying to look up this one that I saw. It's completely different, but there is a werewolf transform scene. It doesn't rival this one, but it's pretty hilarious. Like, yeah, it's just like this one, tier 1, everything else is tier 2 or below.
I saw one review that was basically like, the werewolf movie that outdid every other werewolf movie before it and made sure no other werewolf movie could ever exist.
Yeah.
It's cool because the transformation scene, I don't know, I like the fact that it looks so painful. That's kind of the big thing I got from it, because the one werewolf transformation scene I have in my head is from Van Helsing. And the way they do it is, you know, he's writhing around and he grabs his skin and he just like peels it off of him. And that's how it reveals that he turns into a werewolf, which is pretty awesome. I want to get Van Helsing on there. Yeah, it's a cool concept. I really like it. Like, it's one of those things that's like, whoa, that's really trippy. That's a good way to do it. But it doesn't really convey the pain that this movie does.
Hey, everybody, just popping in real quick. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, that would really help us out a lot. But either way, let's get back to the show.
The way, you know, watching his hands stretch out, the one that really got me was his face expanding outwards. That one tripped me up really hard. And it really just showed the fact it's like, yeah, being a human and transforming into a werewolf, that's not fun. Like, this isn't like a cool thing that can happen to you. This is terrible.
It's definitely not natural.
One little fun fact, I'm not 100% sure on this. They almost did the transformation scene slightly backwards. I can't remember the exact details of it, but I was listening to Baker talk about it, and he's like, it's actually easier for us to take off hair instead of adding hair throughout the transformation. So they started him out with a lot of hair on his body, and then they would trim it as he transformed kind of backwards. I know the scene where you see the hair coming out of his skin, that's filmed backwards. Instead of pushing hair through the skin, it starts outwards, then they pull it inwards, and then they just reverse the shot.
So I looked up the movie that I'm talking about with the werewolf transformation scene. Everyone should Google this. It's wild. It's from '84. It's called The Company of Wolves. Angela Lansbury is in it. It looks like a Little Red Riding Hood spinoff or a reimagination of it. Okay, so I'll just explain it, but it shows this person and like literally a wolf like pops out of his mouth, and then it like splits down his back, and then a wolf comes out. So it's a little bit different, and I guess it's not a werewolf, but it is like a wolf transformation scene.
So like a wolf in sheep's clothing kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of cool, like when the practical effects side of it all. This was interesting too. I just wanted to share this. An American Werewolf in London literally changed the world, and here's why. So Michael Jackson loved this movie. Apparently, like right after he saw it, he's able to get anyone's phone number. So he got in touch with John Landis, the director, and he was just like, how did you do that? I need to meet you and Rick Baker. And from these conversations came the Thriller music video. And when you see the makeup in that music video, it's like it's right on par with the same type of like quality, the eyes, the transformation, the makeup. And I don't know, I think that's pretty amazing because that music video like changed everything.
I want you to be my girl.
so shout out to Rick Baker again.
That's rad.
He changed everything.
That's definitely something that I thought of when I watched this movie, especially Jack's like second stage when he's in the house and he's just zombified, but not like full corpse with a rolling eyeball. I was like, that looks exactly like the Michael Jackson Thriller when he turns around, he's like the zombie the first time with his like slit eyes. Yeah. Man, Vincent Price, that is a voice.
Yeah.
Perfect, man. Yes. So perfect. Just to go just one little layer deeper in this film, because I watched it and at the end I was kind of like, that was incredible. I'm not sure what I feel about it. Like the experience of the movie was really, really strong. And I was like, okay, like, is there a lesson? Is there something that I can glean off this film? The more I thought of, I need to do this more often. Sometimes I wait a long time to watch the film and then we record. I need to watch the film like 4 days before because I always come up with more interesting things to talk about. Mm-hmm. I feel like this movie is a really interesting way to look at guilt and to look at hatred or just like grief. That's another way to think about it, because the scene where Jack gets attacked by the werewolf in the very beginning, I remember I was shocked that David stood up and he ran. He just like just totally left him there. And then he has this moment of like, what am I doing? And he turns back around to go and try and save him. He can't, obviously. And then I feel like the whole movie is basically David really grieving the death of his friend and feeling guilty about it. And him attacking all these people and killing people, I feel like it's sort of is representative, you know, when you're going through grief, when you're feeling all these really strong feelings, sometimes you do tend to hurt others in it during your healing process. And I feel like this is just a very big and very visual way to show that.
So this movie, and we've kind of touched on it a few times already, but this movie, this week after watching it, I kept trying to think of like, what's the right word to describe this movie? It was like sensual is kind of it, but it's not really all that, you know, and it's spunky. It's very external, but there's like these internal grapplings and stuff. I was like, what is the word that I'm looking for? But I finally remembered learning about this distinction between like Apollonian and Dionysian philosophy. So this is a Friedrich Nietzsche thing where Apollo, the god Apollo, you know, symbolizes order and restraint and form and beauty and stuff like that. And Dionysus is the more primal, raw chaos and ecstasy and destruction, the raw nature, that kind of stuff, right? And this movie, I think, is a really good exploration, primarily that Dionysian side of things. It's very tangible. It's very feeling. You're feeling horny. You're feeling excited. You're feeling happy. The juxtaposition between like insane dreams to like very lucid, like I'm in the hospital talking to the doctor, and how quickly that transition happens. And they don't like linger on like this intoxication from it. It's like back and forth between like breathing clear and like something crazy is happening. And so this juxtaposition highlighting that Dionysian chaos versus like a lucid Apollonian like form and beauty and wanting, you know, like I'm in love with this nurse and she loves me and we're like going out on a date and, you know, like I've got a Mickey Mouse thing. Everything's super normal, right? But I think what is super compelling about this movie to me is how they portray the werewolf. Like most werewolf stuff, it's like this hidden curse. It's like the Hulk kind of concept. Like you're ashamed of all of these parts inside of you and you want to keep them hidden, and it turns you into this recluse and you're trying to hide. And that's not really what this story is about. It's too fast. There's no like coming to grips with the fact that he's a werewolf. He's just like constantly terrified of the fact that he's a werewolf, or that he might be a werewolf, or he's ripping people up. So this movie really highlights that each of us have this like destruction, this beast within. Like all werewolf stories are this beast within kind of story. Like it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's the Hulk. It's werewolves. Those sorts of these transformation into a beast of some kind. They're all about this destructive side inside of us that can come out and take over. And this is definitely one of those like highly debated, like evil versus good, heavenly things versus satanic urges, that kind of stuff that, you know, people have been grappling with for a really long time. And so I think, Harrison, your connection to feeling internal guilt and being kind of terrified of what you can do when you don't mean to do it. And is he still doing it? Is this all his fault in the first place? Did he kill Jack, even though he didn't kill Jack? Is he responsible for killing Jack? And does that justify not caring about all the other people that he killed later? Should he take his own life because of that? And so anyway, all of this comes down to the point that Nietzsche, the point of making the distinction between Apollonian and Dionysian distinction, I guess, that duality, is that when these tragedies occur, there's a wisdom that comes from suffering. And that's what this movie creates. Like just before the credits hit, you're like, yeah, I felt like I learned something. I feel like this was not a good thing that happened, but it's also like uncomfortably just still part of normal life. And that hard transition from all of the climax chaos of that, we haven't talked about the insane car wreck scene.
Dude, yeah.
No one knows how to brake, apparently.
through David getting shot and the nurse Price crying, you know, and stuff like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is a tragedy. And then goes boom, right into the like upbeat credits. You feel like, okay. And I do feel like sometimes there's an inevitability. And like, what do? I guess you just kind of like listen to happy music and move on. Like, I mean, that's kind of what I felt like I learned from this, and not like in a hand wavy kind of cynical way. Like, I feel like there is a lesson in this, that how do you handle insane, inevitable things that happen to you that are not fair? And I think that this movie showcases it pretty well, that bad things happen and you get wisdom from suffering, even if you're the one that got shot.
That's a really good observation. And I didn't think about this till just now, but in the beginning, he's kind of reluctant to like go into that bar with the pentagram on the wall. And he's like, okay, if we do this, then it's my fault. And you're totally right about that. I'm sure he had some guilt about that. I don't really have anything nearly as deep as what you guys were talking about, but I wanted to share something. I'm sharing the screen now. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but I've been dealing with some ocular migraines, so I'm not able to go too deep. I just feel like that, but I did want to share this. So I have a picture here. I'm looking at the werewolf in this movie, and I'm like, there's something about this face that reminds me of something else. It took me like an hour, and actually I cheated and used AI to like narrow it down. But tell me what you think. Do you see the resemblance between the werewolf and Mother Agra from Dark Crystal?
Scott, you're the expert here.
I feel like it's all in the eyebrows right here. For those listening, you can look it up, but I was like, there it is. I don't know why. It makes me think of that.
Oh, Ren.
That's as deep as it went.
You know, I'm actually going to use this as a transition to go from sorry. I'm still laughing about that. Yeah. I'm going to use this to transition from like, oh, that's a Jim Henson thing over to Frank Oz voices so many Jim Henson's things.
Yeah.
And Frank Oz is in this movie and it's like,
Dude.
it's almost like cameo level. Like,
Yeah.
why is Frank Oz this guy in this movie with his voice, with his one like liner, like, kids these days, they never appreciated anything you do. And you're like, what? Why is he in this movie?
That was such a random scene. Just him being like, whoa, why are you getting upset? Like, you can't react like this. What's going on? I'm just like, his friend died. Like, why? Of course he's gonna freak out. He just woke up in a hospital. It was so weird. I really didn't understand it, to be honest. I was like, okay, like we're just gonna move on from that. But yeah, when I found out that was Frank Oz, I was like, that's really weird.
Yeah, I didn't know he actually looked like a person.
I mean, he also kind of looks like a Muppet.
Just a little bit.
For some reason, it reminds me of Yoda. Can't place it.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I was thinking Kermit, but hey, I guess I could see a resemblance.
So I just got a couple little random notes. I'm so glad they stopped putting credits at the beginning of films, by the way. Like, I'm very grateful that they just moved it to the end. I did spot a car detailer in this film, by the way. There's a scene where they're walking to the nurse's apartment and there's a guy in the background like buffing out a scratch on his car, and I was like, there you go. One thing I learned about this film, it was filmed in sequence, and I thought that was really cool. I really appreciate films when they do film in sequence. I actually distinctly remember the moment that I realized that a lot of films are not filmed that way, and this was when I was younger and I was like, I want to be an actor. That'd be so cool to be an actor. And I learned that movies aren't filmed in sequence all the time, and I was like, I don't like that. That's dumb. Like, why would you do that? It didn't click in my head as to why you would do that.
I feel like that translates their connection in the beginning really well. For whatever reason, whatever thing I can't place or put my finger on, that makes total sense to me. Cool.
There's a poster for Airplane in the background. I thought that was pretty funny. The scene where he's naked in the zoo and he's like, hey kid, come over here. Like, I need something from you. I was just like, wow, this is like, what a crappy situation to be in.
Hiya, Georgie. Can I steal your balloons?
I liked when he's running through the street like half naked and he's just grabbing people's stuff. I like when he yanked that lady's jacket and just kept running. I thought that made me laugh. The porno music was absolutely terrible. And my last note, I don't know what it is. I feel like I saw a very quick clip of a scary movie when I was a kid, just flipping through channels on my little tiny TV. I remember flipping to a channel and it was a horror movie and a lady had a bunch of blood on her teeth. And ever since then, seeing blood on teeth has like really wigged me out. Seeing that werewolf just biting people and there's just blood like just dripping off of his teeth. That really just it made me feel gross.
Wait, can we talk a little bit more about the ending scene? Because the part where the wolf literally lobs that guy's head and it like rolls on the car, and then just the madness that ensues, everyone's crashing. That, I don't know how they filmed it. It looks so real, but there's one car that kind of like screeches and like hits that guy with the broadside of the car, and he's just like, he gets squished.
Yeah, squished between the two cars. Yeah. There were a lot of scenes like that where I was like, this is like, I don't know, it rivals Blues Brothers, which is hard to beat.
Yeah. Like someone got hurt behind the scenes for sure.
Yeah.
Or like they ran over that one dude. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, like almost Donnie Darko level of ran over that dude. Like there's a lot of gnarly stuff in that final scene. Actually, the scene that's going on right now is another one I want to talk about where he's trying to get himself arrested. Yeah. And he's just like, he's like, Queen Elizabeth is a man. It's like, how did he come up with all those so fast? Those are funny.
Why doesn't the cop do it? He's the worst police officer ever.
I just killed everybody.
Yeah, you can't admit to killing people and like be screaming and then offending your queen, and he does nothing. I was like, oh, okay.
Move along.
One little like Easter egg kind of in the background, but there's a part where he's near like the newspaper stand, and then the Daily Mirror is like the name of like the newspaper, and it says man or monster. I just like those little hidden things that just kind of help your subconscious like understand the story a little bit more. I thought that was cool. Little
Yeah, that's
detailed.
rad.
I was really confused at the beginning for some reason, but okay, so when Griffin Dunn gets ripped up, for some reason my brain didn't connect, but after they shoot him, he's laying there and he looks over and he sees like a random dead person. I didn't connect that was the previous werewolf, and I was like, what the hell? Why does he look so different? So on my second watch, yeah, I'm an idiot apparently, but did that confuse you guys, or was that just me?
I mean, I don't know that I have the ability to like be confused. This is like a formative film. Like I've just always understood this movie. There was at some point where I'm sure I was like, hey, that's weird. But I was like 6. So I don't know.
I can't believe you. I mean, I showed my 7-year-old this, but I guess I can understand a little bit. The werewolf transformation scene, when he's like halfway through, that's the creepiest part. And it made me think of those Animorphs covers, like right in the middle. It's like the most unsettling part of all those books. I hate the body horror of it all. But when he's looking at his hands and they're like stretching long, and then it shows his feet doing the same thing, that part made me just wig out. I was like, ugh, nasty.
That hand is the slimiest scene, the slimiest shot for me. I think it goes down in like top 5 slimiest shots ever made.
Yeah.
I've thought about that my whole life. Just watching. There's lots of other things that were, you know, they had an impact, or I remember them and stuff. But like, I'll sometimes just like look at my hand and imagine it stretching, like just random times during the day, and it freaks me out. When I think of like my bone anatomy, I just imagine them stretching out and what that would look like. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to imagine. I've already seen that.
I want to open a small conversation about the nurse and also her nurse friend. Really weird, but like right when it shows her, she comes in and she's like, oh, I think he's Jewish. And she's like, what do you mean? So like this nurse is like checking out their patients like behind the scenes. And then she ends up taking this crazy person who is claiming that a wolf killed his friend, and just like, I'm so confused as to why she falls so in love with him. This dumb American who's just spouting nonsense and even admits to everyone that he's losing his sanity. I thought that was kind of questionable on her end. So I guess that's all I had to say. I was just like, there's some parts that I don't really, it's not as believable.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think my take is this isn't really a believable movie. Like, it's fun. It's gory, and it just kind of like doesn't let you think about it much because you're constantly like, what if this was happening to me? The Dionysian side, I think they just needed for it to continue to be Dionysian and like raw and sexy. They just needed to like have it all in there. Like, man, let's have like one more night in Vegas and then you die.
What was it? I did like like the head doctor turns into like the Sherlock Holmes, like he's trying to figure out the whole thing. And I really liked when he calls the nurse, is like, hey, have you seen David? And she's like, well, he's at my apartment. And he's just like, okay, well, I need to talk to him. He doesn't give any crap that it's like, hold on, you took a psychotic patient, brought him to your home, and you probably slept with him. Like he like totally like just glances over that whole thing, and he's so focused on like, no, he's a dangerous person. We need to figure this out. That it doesn't matter that she broke every HR code ever.
Yeah, and I kind of like the idea that you feel like he should have at least raised an eyebrow or something, because Nurse Price and her friend are kind of like that when they're like, hey, where's David? Oh, he's at my apartment. You know, they like look at each other and they're like, oh, he's going to talk to us. Am I in trouble and stuff? And you're like, oh, this is... I feel like the lead doctor was probably one of the grounding forces that kind of made the movie feel a little more believable, even though, I don't know, it was still a little... This movie's just not serious, right? It's awesome in so many ways. It's just not serious. It's part of the comedy. It's just like, it's funny. It's funny that they act that way. And it doesn't come out as weird. It's just funny, which is weird.
No. This movie definitely just got better and better the more I thought about it, and the more I just let it sink in. Just talking to you guys about it, it's just like, God, this is a really formative, just impressive film. I
wrote that about halfway through the film. I was like, this is one of the greatest horror films ever. And I hadn't even got to the transformation scene. There's so many things I love about the back and forth, everything we've talked about. This movie's awesome.
I'll be honest, I don't really have much else to say. I just loved it.
There's not a lot to chew on, which is, one of my favorite things about films, but this movie just is what it is. It's awesome. It's a great horror film. It's hilarious all at the same time. It's entertaining, and I think we might as well just kind of go into our closing thoughts and our ratings, but everyone should watch this movie. If you have any interest in lycanthrope. Yeah, any lycanthrope fans, this is number one. I'm interested to kind of look at some other werewolf films. Like, I kind of want to start at like The Wolfman, like kind of the origins, and then go up from there. This is an all-timer. As far as my rating, I want to give it like a 5. There are some clunky parts, but I'm gonna go with a 4.5. I think there's room for improvements here and there, but I love this movie. This is the best werewolf movie in my opinion, and probably like in my top 10 favorite horror films of all time.
Like so many other movies that I've seen, and they're just like part of my psyche, it's really hard to kind of objectively look at this. I really like this movie. I also agree, like, this movie doesn't need any boobs in it. Like it has, like,
I hate to say that, but it's true.
I'm not like a huge movie editor kind of person, but I think this movie would be better with fewer boobs. That's not what's knocking the points off this or anything, but that's like my only real complaint with it. I think it gets a solid 4. Like, it's just good. It's so fun, and it doesn't trivialize any of the fear and the horror. And that's, I think, a hard balance. And I continue to think about that a lot, because you've just got scary horror films and you've got trivializing horror films where they make all the horror dark humor. And this is like a humorous film that has horror. It's not a dark horror film,
Yeah.
You're not laughing at the horror. You're scared of the horror. It's not funny. There is some dark humor with Jack being super slashed and talking to him super calm and things like that. But I think it really adds more to the uncomfortableness of the movie than laughing about the fact that, hey, look, it's funny. It's not the Umbrella Company or something like that. This isn't Wednesday, or Addams Family. This really is a scary movie that is also simultaneously really funny. And I just love that it exists. Like, I don't know if there's any other movie I know that's like this. And because of that, that's why I wanted to share it with you guys.
What do you guys think, if you had to pick one, is it more of a horror or is it more of a comedy?
It's more of a horror film to me. This kind of goes into my rating of the film, but yeah, this isn't a movie that I'm going to reach for all the time, which lands it more in the horror category for me. I think because those scenes are so big and it is violent and it has these really uncomfortable scenes in it, but the comedy really elevates the horror to me.
I was just curious because, like, from lots of horror films, when I think of, like, one of the things I think of about this one first is that it's humorous. It doesn't take itself seriously, which is also kind of the power of it. But
no, I think the most slimy scene in this film for me is the first visit from Jack. Just the practical effect, just his neck just being torn away, the scratch across his face. And I think it really just sets the dynamic of the film and really pushes kind of what I was talking about in terms of David feeling the guilt and going through this process of him trying to forgive himself. Because, I mean, just imagine, like, your friend dies and you have this feeling like, I could have stopped this. And then all of a sudden your friend comes back and is talking to you and saying, hey, you need to kill yourself, by the way, in order to stop this from occurring. That is heavy as hell. And it really was just like, whoa. But yeah, so just a good combination of the theme, the feeling that I had watching it, and then just the visual of it was just a perfect scene to me. I'm going to give this movie a 4.5. And I think it fully earns it. I won't be shocked if I watch this again, probably multiple times. This type of film isn't a movie that I just naturally reach for all the time. And maybe that's why it's just down to a 4.5. But overall, like, this is just a great film. If anyone comes up to me and asks me, either should I watch this specific film, or, hey, I just need a movie for Halloween, or I want to watch a slightly scary film. It's like An American Werewolf in London. Like, that's the first one I'm going to name. 100%.
All right. Well, next week we have, where are we? What movie are we on next week?
We're doing a Cinema Paradiso.
Cinema Paradiso.
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, I don't know anything about Cinema Paradiso, and I've heard you talk about it a lot, Ren, and it's popped up on your list a couple times. So I'm excited to finally get to it.
Yeah, haven't seen it in 20 years, so I don't remember anything.
All I know is that it's about lewd pictures.
Yes. Those lewd motion pictures they play in the cinema. No, it'll be great. Get your movies watched. Watch along with us. And we'll be back for episode 35, Cinema Paradiso. I'm signing off. We're about to go get some sushi, and my kids are probably... Actually, they probably kill each other downstairs. I should probably go check on them.
There's a good chance.
Very high chance.
Merry post-Christmas, and roll credits.
That's a wrap on another episode of Cinema Slime. Be sure to watch the next film before next Wednesday. We had a blast, and hope you enjoyed it. This episode was a production by your hosts, Harrison Jensen, Ren Jensen, and Scott Shepard. This is a group effort, and seriously, thank you. Thank you for listening and watching us, however you found us. We really appreciate it. Help us grow by leaving a comment, a 5-star review, subscribe, and share an episode with another cinema lover. Also, let's connect. Find us on Discord and Letterboxd for film discussions, reviews, and recommendations. Also, check us out on social media. We're always posting clips, film rabbit holes we're going down, and interesting stuff. And you can also show your support by using Buy Me a Coffee, and we'll give you a shout out if you'd like. All links can be found in the episode notes. Goodbye.